Welcome to Why Wine Without Wine, a business talk show with a twist. I am Hilary Williamson, owner of Klein Strategies.
I'm Kristina, owner of IAJ Multimedia.
And this show, you never know what's going to happen as we teach you tips and tricks to how to run your business better. And so we just want to make sure that you feel human, just like us.
Yes, we have an awesome guest on our show. We talk about our wine, which we will be wining with, and we also talk about a book.
Yeah, we have a book review, and just to remind you, if you haven't seen our show, we are not real talk show hosts.
But we are real entrepreneurs.
Yes, that's right. So we want to make sure that you are learning something as we go.
Exactly. So join us.
Yes, and watch the human side of our show.
Am I in the zone? The auto zone.
All right, Why Wine Without Wine with JC, guest segment, take one.
And today we're super excited to introduce a new guest for you.
This is JC Coughlin. He is the design engineer, entrepreneur, adventurer, founder, and owner of Backcountry Staples.
Yes.
Welcome, JC.
He does it all. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, he does it all.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
So first, we need to hear about what you do.
What I do is a variety of things. My days encompass coming up with recipe ideas, making recipes, shipping orders to customers, making updates to the website, working with influencers. It's quite varied.
Yeah, it is. And so you make very compact. I can see you waiting for that. It was like, do I duck too, or do I just keep going? That was startling. I think you put a hole in the wall.
Thank you, Maxwell 2.0.
You make very compact, easy to port meals, right?
I do, yes.
Tell us about that.
So Backcountry Staples is starting with 8 quick cooking breakfasts. And you're absolutely correct, Hilary. They are very small, compact breakfasts to take with you on your adventures. So a lot of customers, their adventures are outdoor trips, whether that be backpacking, long distance, just for the weekend. But they're also really well suited for travels overseas, road trips around the US, and just everyday life on the go.
Well, today we get to wine with PROSECCO.
Yes.
You usually do wine, but
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
this matched you
Yes.
in
Yeah,
our
did it?
topic today.
Yes. We'll share that with
We'll
you a
share
little
that
bit
later. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what would you like to whine about?
Yeah.
I remember what you
I
whined
think,
about last time
yes,
we talked.
I think my whining topic of choice is going to be having to interact with social media.
Okay. What do you not like about it? Or what's the whining part to it? Just having to do that?
Yeah, so when I was younger, right, you grew up, at least for my generation, grew up with AOL and getting into MySpace, and then Facebook came along and going through the social journey of online. And when I was in college, I got really fed up with some of the downsides of Facebook. You know, the allure of comparing yourself to others and everyone's story always being very positive and only the great things going on in their life and it not being authentic. And so I had gotten off Facebook and wasn't on any social media sites. But now I realize that in the quest to start a business and have an audience and customer base, it is very important to have ways to get the word out there. And since I am starting with a very frugal / no budget really, it requires using social media. It's really the best tool we have for getting the word out there about things.
It really is.
I really appreciate when customers reach out and, you know, leave a nice, thoughtful comment, or I can interact with people in that way.
Yep.
But also a lot of being on social media is just this never-ending list of posts and information to look at. It kind of feels like a waste of time sometimes, but I know it's not, and yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
on
cheers
that
to
note, yeah, cheers by the
Yeah.
way.
We
We
need to
usually like
cheers.
to do this.
I always
Yes,
cheers
thank
at
you.
the beginning. Forgot
So
to.
on that note, that kind of brings us to the topic that we wanted to discuss with you today, and I know you would be an expert in this, and that would be the introverted entrepreneur.
She came up with a new word.
I do. It's Intropreneur.
Oh,
You
I
like
like
that?
that. Yes.
Intropreneur.
Yes.
I think that might explain part of why I dislike interacting with social media.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell us, what is the biggest challenge of being an intrapreneur
I think
in business?
Yes, I think it is in the field of business I've chosen. The success of Backcountry Staples hinges upon strong marketing and sales, and I'm very strong in the focused independent tasks, which usually relate to product development, recipe creation, creating the product. And so I'm not as keen on getting out there and spreading the word. I feel like one of my major advantages for starting a company is how thoughtful and analytical I can be. I can take a problem and really spend time breaking it apart into individual components. And while that's an advantage a lot of times, it also can be a disadvantage because sometimes I get stuck in the analysis paralysis. And I think that's something other introverts find themselves facing as well.
What would you say the benefits of being an introvert are?
I feel like I can really hone in on and focus on listening to what my customers want and developing a product that satisfies their needs. And Hilary mentioned the thoughtfulness. That for me is part of our tagline, right? It's Backcountry Staples, which are thoughtfully wholesome meals. And that thoughtful part is an important aspect of the company. I really intend Backcountry Staples that every element is well thought out and it's been field tested, it's gone through iterations and developments, and nothing that we put out there is just happen chance. And I think that's a benefit for what we're trying to do.
And I think what's been really cool in having a really sit-down conversation with you prior to this episode is to really see the soul of you come out and share, and the passion for your product and your method of putting it together and getting it out there. And you even speaking very candidly about building confidence in yourself and confidence in your product. I think that is so incredibly valuable to share with other entrepreneurs and other people, and to create friendships and really relationships. Because if we just make, like the Facebook idea, if we just put the happy, successful stuff out there, everyone's gonna have a sense of, I'm not good enough, or I can't be like that, or whatever, and we need to knock those walls down. This world needs to have supportive, community-minded people where we're gonna help each other survive.
Maxwell's
we got
returned.
food! Yay!
Yes.
So,
An option. Let's see what we have.
oh, the steam is
cherry.
coming
Looks like
out.
it is a cherry hazelnut.
Oh, you recognized it right away.
Might
Is it gonna go good with our
recommend a
drink?
Thorough stir there on the thermos before serving.
Okay, so this is how you make these backcountry meals. So, JC, do you have any tips for the Intropreneur?
Oh, I do.
Yeah?
So a tip I've found really helpful for myself and been trying to apply is the concept of redefining networking to fit my style. It's come up before when we were talking about my desire to have meaningful one-on-one connections. And I feel much less intimidated about the idea of sitting down with someone one-on-one and having a little bit more of an intimate style conversation, right, than when you're just in a big group and it's often small talk. I find that less engaging. And so I've been trying to redefine networking opportunities to create those little isolated moments to have one-on-one connection.
Ones that you initiate.
Ones that
You
I
don't wait
initiate.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's awesome. Yeah.
I will say, when I first met you at Rising Entrepreneurs, I never guessed that you were an introvert.
Oh, really?
Because you were just so he came right up and he started talking to us, and we had a great conversation. Told me all about his company, and I saw you talk to multiple people, so you're very good.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
that
thank you.
you've found your style and you have put it into effect and it works.
Thank you
It's
so
easy.
much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
And also
All
cheers
right.
with our little oatmeal cups.
Yes,
Cheers.
little milk cups.
Yes.
God.
What about the steamer?
I think you should, that'll just get more water on it.
Yeah.
It's just, that's steam. And now we move on to our wine segment as Kristina tries to cover up her spill of a sip a little bit ago. So, all things can happen on this show. So,
I wasn't trying to take a sip. I was actually trying to smell it.
tell us about what we're drinking today.
Okay. Well, we are drinking a Prosecco, which is an Italian sparkling wine. I'm excited about it. I love Proseccos. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's from the Veneto region in northern Italy. So
Which is where?
Hilary was explaining what part of the boot that this was at. She said, it's the butt of the boot.
It's near the
It's
butt.
up near the butt. So this sparkling wine, a Prosecco, is really, I'm not gonna spell it on myself again. It's really, really yummy.
And I like
Extremely refreshing.
very.
It's aromatic, but it's nice and dry and crisp. So it doesn't leave, do you notice it doesn't leave any like leftovers in your mouth? It's good. It just wipes away from your palate. Clean slate.
I agree with you, but the way that sounded to me is like, doesn't leave any leftovers in your mouth. It just rinses it all down. Sorry. I like it. That's good, really. And I like the name of it because for our episode, it's about the Intrapreneur, right?
Yeah.
And so
Oh yeah. Okay. So
it's so
the name. Hi.
completely named.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. That is why we got it, because we're trying to tell the introverted entrepreneur or the intrapreneur to just say hi. Okay, so now we're going to talk about our book. Yes, I'm still wet.
Thank you. Yes.
We're
so
going to talk about our wonderful book. Would you like to introduce?
I would love to introduce this. So, in keeping with the theme and supporting our intropreneurs, we found the book called Networking for People Who Hate Networking. It's a field guide for introverts, the overwhelmed, and the underconnected by Devora Zack. And I love this book. I think it's a really good read. I think it's a good read for all people to not only learn how to network as an introvert, but also to understand how to network with an introvert if you are an extrovert. This gal
It
is
is
a
cute.
good, she's a good speaker, and she gets introduced. What did you put in this?
What was your favorite quote?
Well, I
had a couple of
found
them.
it's actually not even really a quote. You know that golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated.
Oh yes.
They have a platinum rule in here, which I really like. It's to treat others how they want to be treated, which totally makes sense how I have been an employer, because I tend to become a chameleon, where I change colors. That's how I used to think about it. And I think that's how I have been able to relate to people, is like when I notice somebody's a little bit more quieter, I'll dial it down. You know, if I notice somebody's really outgoing, I'll join
You
in
can
and I can be a
keep
part
it
of
up.
it. Yeah, and so, but this must be that's what I'm doing, is I'm treating people how they want to be treated, which makes me feel kind of cool. It's like, okay, I've been kind of doing that.
She's good at it too.
Oh, thank you.
So I marked, and this is for people who, there is like such a stigma against the old-fashioned networking for some people. I've heard people like talk about, oh, I hate networking. What is networking really? Networking is the art of building and maintaining mutually beneficial connections for shared positive outcomes. I think networking is beautiful. You're getting out there and you are meeting people and you're connecting, and it's positive. If you're doing it right, it's positive for both of you. And that's what networking should be, is just going out there and just building those real connections.
So, Networking for People Who
Yes.
Hate Networking by Devora Zack. Get the book, it's a good read, and
yeah.
it's not boring.
No, and it really
it's a cute
relates to
story.
everybody.
Yes. Thank you for joining us again with Why Wine Without Wine. I'm Hilary Williamson, owner of Climb Strategies.
I'm Kristina, owner of IAJ Multimedia. You can find us on Facebook, IGTV, or on LinkedIn. Check us out. If you have a wine or a book that you would like to suggest, please share it in the comments, and we would love, love, love to integrate any ideas you have, or podcasts, anything.
Absolutely. And just so you know, all humor is for entertainment purposes only and does not necessarily reflect our beliefs or lifestyles of any of our cast, guests, or crew. Good luck, all you crazy entrepreneurs.
And just embrace that you are. Cheers, boo.